What's good, everyone? We're back, Audiolithic Mac. And in this video right here, I'm going to show everyone how the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, the dictionary that's infamous for many of these pretendians because they love to use this dictionary to manipulate definitions, right? So we're going to show you, right, that this dictionary also proves that all black people are African. Even if you have 25%, that 25% is African, 10%, whatever range, whatever percent of black you have in you, that means your ancestor was African. Now check it out. Here is the definition of mulatto: a person that is the offspring of a negress by a white man, or a white woman by a Negro. Now you have a lot of these pretendians claiming, oh, my ancestor was reclassified. They were mulatto. They were mulatto because they were half white. Do you understand? Not Native American, not Indian, not Choctaw, not Cherokee, not Blackfeet, right? They were half white because the slave owner was white T. This is 1828. They knew those slave owners were just knocking off a lot of the female African black slaves and were conceiving children with these slaves that were high yellow, light skinned. Some had the straight hair, or the good hair, y'all call it. Yeah, my grandma got hair. You can look at, she got good hair like an Indian. Well, your great grandma was most likely the offspring of the whitey man. Do you understand? It's right here in the definitions. Now, that's not all. For those who don't know the definition of a negress and a Negro, a negress, a female of the black race of Africa. It didn't say a female who was Indian. It didn't say a black Indian female. It says a female of the black race of Africa. Now, Negro, a native or descendant of the black race of men in Africa. And they said this specifically because in 1828, they knew there were going to be some pretendians. I mean, this is crazy. In 1828, they knew some pretendian in the future was going to try to manipulate this word to falsely claim Native American ancestry or Moorish ancestry or Arabic ancestry or whatever, anything that was non-African. So they adamantly stated that the word is never applied to the tawny or olive colored inhabitants of the northern coast of Africa, but to the more southern race of men who are quite black, sub-Saharan Africans. That's what you are, pretendians. You're not Indian. You descend from sub-Saharan Africans. So your book has pretty much debunked you. So there's no reason for you to keep using this book because everyone now knows what's in the 1828 dictionary. And that's not all. Let's look what colored means, because you pretendians love to say, oh, well, my ancestor was colored. They were reclassified as colored. Well, colored people, black people, Africans, or their descendants, mixed or unmixed. That's the definition of colored. Let me read it to you again. Colored people, black people, Africans, or their descendants, mixed or unmixed. Do you understand? So no matter where you go, what you do, pretendians, you can say whatever you want. You can say you are a Native American from the planet Pluto. You will always be African. Do you understand? As a bonus, I also want to add that many pretendians, right, always state, oh, well, Africa is a new term. Africa, that term didn't exist until the 1950s. Really? You know, we educated people, we know that's pretty much ridiculous. That notion that the term Africa didn't exist, because the term Africa originated from the Romans. You know, what, 2,000 years ago? But, you know, Pretendians are unaware of that. But in this 1828 dictionary, it clearly says Africa. So that means in 1828, they were calling the continent of Africa, Africa. So the word was not made up in the 1950s and 60s. 1828 and before, they were calling Africa, Africa. But I'm going to give you some more evidence to prove it, because maybe just the definition of negress and Negro may not just be enough. So let me give you some more definitions. Here's the definition of Africa: one of the 4 quarters or largest divisions of the globe, a continent separated from Europe by the Mediterranean Sea. So, as you can see here, in 1828, Africa is most certainly a word and was used by Europeans. So therefore, all those census records in the 1870s that clearly show people, black people born in Africa who survived into the 1870s and 1880s, right, were indeed African. And the ones who didn't survive, of course, you won't see them in the 1870 census because they didn't survive. But just because you don't see them in the census doesn't mean they're Indian. They're just Africans who passed away before 1870 and 1880. Do you understand that, Pretendians? Let me show you again the census records, because the census records do not lie. And as you can see here, I chose Mississippi. I can choose any state I want just to prove my point. But I'm specifically going to choose Mississippi because for some reason, Mississippi has become ground zero for pretendianism. So Edmund Harvey, born in Africa, we know in 1828, Africa was a word. It was a real word, real place. Lee Burris, Africa. Charlie Patrick, Africa. Bailey Liddell, Africa. Africa, all these people from Mississippi, born in Africa, that survived the 1880 census. Who survived the 1880 census? And I can keep going and going and going. So the only thing you're doing, Pretendians, is making black people appear ignorant across the globe, because you don't realize once you post something on social media, the whole world has the opportunity to see it. And what we're doing is showing the whole world that there's only a small segment of ignorant black people that are around. Just like anywhere else, there may be a segment of a group of people who are not as intelligent as the main body. But we don't want the stereotype of all of us being in that same category. So that's why we're here, to make it known and to call out Pretendians and let the world know that there's a small sect of people here who are just ignorant. They're ignorant. They suffer from mental health issues. They suffer from a lack of education. And that's why they have these wild beliefs when it comes to race and ancestry. So that's why we're here, Pretendians. We know you're just capping over the internet because people like you don't care about anything. You are willing to sell out your own ancestry for social media clout. That's just absolutely pathetic. And that's why we are here. And we're going to let the world know, and the world sees us. They know that black people in this country of the United States of America are intelligent people. They know that. And we're going to make sure they know that. But we're not going to let pretendians, right, in this country make all black people in general appear less intelligent. We're not going to do that. So yes, we're not going to stop until all of you pretendians are evaporated, gone for good.